It's really cold where I'm at today, so it got me thinking about cold storage. It's something that's important. How do we keep our crypto safe? We talk about being our own bank. We talk about, how do you get the coins off exchanges and take possession of your coins, proof of keys, all these things. Okay, we're going to do that, but how do we do that? In the past, I would just, and even now, I'm not a big fan of Trezor or Ledger. And not that there's anything wrong with those things, but it's just the fact that I don't like the idea that you have to plug it into a computer, that you have to plug it into a laptop that's online, typically. Um, I'm not comfortable with that because things are hacked all the time. That's just the way it is. If it's online, it can get hacked. So, I never really did use those to secure anything. I was always kind of a paper wallet guy. Take an old laptop, um, download the open source code, the browser code that you can just run it in a web browser offline locally on that computer, and you can generate private keys. You can generate nice little cute wallets with a QR code, a public key and a private key, and it looks cool. You can secure your funds on with those, and print off as many as you want. The problem is it's a paper wallet. It's just like cash. I mean, if you lose it, it's gone, man. So, that's kind of an issue. And you can print it off, if you have a printer that's not connected to the internet. It's just, nothing, the whole system's not connected to the internet. So that's kind of how I've done things. But at the Litecoin Summit, there was my introduction to the Cool Wallet because I don't want to be tied to a laptop and have to plug in, these devices and load it up on a laptop. I mean, so much work is done on your phone now that okay, I've got a wallet on my phone. You have a Coinami wallet, an Edge wallet, Bread wallet, Loaf wallet. You have all these different wallets that are on your phone to where you can, send, receive cryptos. So we're kind of used to that. But is that secure? What if somebody gets your phone? They know the password and they cut your thumb off and scan your freaking phone with your thumbprint. I mean, you gotta start thinking that way. So, I mean, how do you secure those things? Somebody steals your phone, and you've got to, what happens? So, the Cool Wallet, I was introduced to that at the Litecoin Summit. I think I've got one around here. Well, it's sorry. See, it's always safe when you can't find the hardware wallet. So anyway, it's like a credit card looking thing. And so what you have to do, I can't believe see, that's what happens, Be your own bank, you got to be responsible for your stuff. So the Cool Wallet, it's just like a little credit card. And there's an app on your phone, just like these other wallets that you're used to. You can put your cryptos into it. And the difference is, instead of, normally what you do is, hey, I want to send some Litecoin or I want to send some Bitcoin somewhere, whatever it is, on your phone, you'd say send it, you'd scan the code, whatever, however you send it. Then you'd enter your password typically or do a thumb scan, and it would send. Okay, all you needed was your phone to do that. Well, with the Cool Wallet, it kind of took it a step further. And what that does, it establishes a Bluetooth connection to your phone. And so once it's authenticated and you go through the process of, pairing them up, you have, you go to send your cryptos off of your phone. And what happens is you have to then have the Cool Wallet in your possession and push a little button to confirm it. So you physically have to make sure that, the two are together. So it's not just the phone, it's also a second key that you have and you have to press. The problem, not necessarily a problem, but that is still connected to your phone. It's not completely offline in a sense. So, some ingenious hacker, is able to get into your phone that's online and somehow compromises, that whole thing. I don't know, I'm not a hacker, but there's still that connection, and that's concerning. That's why I like the paper wallets, because it's completely offline. When I want to bring it back online, I can sweep the private key and it brings in all the funds to the wallet you choose. again, that's kind of a problem too, which is inconvenient because let's say you put like 10 Litecoin on your paper wallet. Well, in order to get it, you got to sweep them all off. That's the thing, because once that private key is exposed, to your phone, and it sees it and it sweeps it, that can be gained and hacked. So, you've got to take all the coins off the paper wallet. Well, then you're making another paper wallet and another paper wallet, and I've been through this, and it's just kind of inconvenient to do, but it can be done. So what's the solution? All right, well, I came across this other wallet that I've been, kind of using now. It's called the Ellipal wallet, and I've got one here. This one's the Litecoin Chicken limited edition. It's kind of cool. You can get other things on it. You can get Digibyte on it. You can get different, I think you can even get your own custom, look on the back of it. So it's kind of cool. It's more personalized. So I've been using that, trying it out, and it takes the Cool Wallet a step further in that, okay, you've got an app on your phone and you want to send whatever cryptos you want somewhere else. Okay, you can do that. You just go boom, boom, boom. This is where I want to send it. Okay, so in order to send it, though, you now need to have the Ellipal wallet. And so, hey, I'm going to send my cryptos with my phone. Oh, okay, well, you need to scan the code, the QR code on the Ellipal wallet. And then vice versa. The Ellipal wallet will scan a code on your Ellipal app. So what happens is you've got an authentication device in the Ellipal that now is no longer online. I mean, see, this thing is never connected to the phone with Bluetooth, with any kind of wireless signal. It's never online. Think of this as that old laptop that, I set up and would print off the paper wallets. This is the paper wallet generator. This generates the private key and the public key inside of it. And so you don't have to go around printing all these paper wallets off. This does it for you. And when you want to access it, what you do is you just scan, and you scan back. It's authenticated. It's just all done with QR codes. So the Ellipal's never online. And so I kind of like that. The more I use it, the more I think, well, this is kind of cool, because now, I've got like a paper wallet generator in this one device for all these different cryptos, and they're always adding more cryptos, so they do support on that with their updates. And how do you update it, you might ask? Well, you have to take a little SD card, and you download the firmware, like on a laptop. So you take a clean SD card, download the firmware, and then you put it into the Ellipal and boot it up. It'll load the firmware. And so at that point, you've got your new tokens, new coins, whatever it may be. So it'll accept Litecoin, Bitcoin, XRP, Digibyte, all kinds, Tron, Ethereum, all of the tokens on Ethereum, the RC20 tokens. So, there's a lot, and they're adding more every day. You can go to their site, ellipal.com, I think, and view what they're doing. So the nice thing about this Ellipal is you can keep all of your coins on it. Nothing can touch it. The phone has to have the Ellipal app on it, and when you're ready to send your coins, you have to have the Ellipal to verify it. And in order to verify it, it's done via QR codes. So it's scanning back and forth. It's just taking a picture. There's no active connection to it. And if let's say something happens to this thing, so that's the thing with my paper wallet. I want to do something with it, laminate it, bury it, do something, so where I think it's safe. Well, what happens if this thing gets destroyed? You have an EMP or a fire, or it gets crushed. Well, when you first set it up, you have a seed phrase or 12 words that you want to write down. That's what's got to be secured, no matter what. And so what I would suggest is, and I think this will work because I haven't tried it yet, but you can get a Billfodl, Billfodl, and it's a metal wallet where you can put the words into it, the seed phrases into it, and it's thin, it's a piece of metal, and all your seed phrases are in it. You can't burn it, it can't be destroyed, essentially. And so you have your seed phrase in that, so that's backed up. It's not on paper. It's pretty much indestructible. So if your Ellipal ever gets destroyed, you can get another Ellipal and restore it with that seed phrase that's on a basically indestructible device that you can just, recreate an account on an Ellipal. And I tried that, and create a new account, wipe this one, put it back on. It's fine. Works like all the other things do, all the other wallets. So it's a really good solution, I think. It's offline. You can back it up with the seed phrase, and you put the seed phrase on a Billfodl. I mean, you're probably going to be in it for, $250 or more in that setup, with the Ellipal and the Billfodl. You might be able to get some deals on it, but you ask yourself, okay, I'm buying these cryptos. I'm going to be my own bank. How many banks do you see that are made out of shacks? I mean, they're usually stone buildings and, pretty fancy, and they look like they're pretty secure. So if we're going to do that, if we're going to be our own bank, then we need to start thinking that way, and we need to put a little bit of money into securing things. I mean, bank vaults, not so much anymore maybe, but, bank vaults are these huge doors of steel, and you turn it and lock it. I mean, we need to think that way, except we need to do it digitally. We need to think about what things are secure. So if you take the coins offline, that's what's great about the Ellipal. It's completely offline. If you have that, along with a secure mechanism to restore that, you put it on a Billfodl, I think it's a good solution. Now, I have not looked at the data bunker. That sounds pretty darn good, because that thing, it's a lot more expensive. But here's the thing. If you got a lot of money invested in cryptos, I mean, you can't afford to lose them. So you can't afford to cut corners. And the data bunker, from everything I've seen, it's made just like a black box on an airplane. And how many times have you seen airplane crashes where the airplane's gone, it's in pieces, strewn miles and miles away in different countries at some point. But they're looking for the black box. And this thing, it gets blown up in the airplane, drops to the bottom of the ocean, they recover it, and it's still got everything intact. And they can, replay everything that was saved on it. I mean, that's nuts. But that's what a data bunker is. So if you're really going to secure your cryptos, if you're putting your retirement money into this stuff, and you need to look into something like that. But it depends on how willing you're going to go with this. But I think a good solution, which is relatively affordable. I mean, yeah, you might have to take a few months off and not buy any cryptos. But the thing is, it's important to secure what you have. There's only so many of these cryptos. And see, that's the thing. You put your money in a bank. Oh, it's FDIC insured, so if you lose $100,000 in a crash, it's insured, or $250,000, whatever it is now. Well, they can print the money up and say, oh, here you go. You can't do that with cryptos. If it's gone, it's gone. So you look at Bitcoin, there's 21 million Bitcoin that can ever be mined and can ever exist on the ledger, on the blockchain network. 21 million. Okay, I guarantee quite a few of those have been lost, because when it's worth pennies, you're buying 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. And you just don't take care of it so well. When if it's only worth pennies and you lose it, oh well. We do it now with cheap coins. Oh crap, I lost it because I did this, I did that, and then it's gone. You don't have access to it anymore. It's gone. So a lot of Bitcoin have been lost, and you hear the stories of hard drives, thrown into a landfill and have thousands of Bitcoin on it that are gone. Because at the time it was worth pennies, and there really wasn't that need to secure it, and we were kind of loose with it and sent it around and just played with it. But now, gosh darn it, we should have saved them if we knew. So there's only so many Bitcoin that exist, and it's not 21 million. There's around, 17 million now that have been mined, and only 4 million more to go. I'm pretty sure, and I'd be willing to bet, I think, that 17 million is probably the top number that'll ever exist. So you start doing the math on that, you realize the real scarcity of it. And the same with Litecoin. 60 million have been mined at this point, 84 million at the most. I guarantee, a few million are gone and are never going to be accessed again. So you can't bail that out. There's no way to print the money up to make you whole. So here's the thing. In the new banking system that we are now in, that we now are early adopters and participants within that system, we need to secure our wealth like we are the bank, because we are. Nobody's bailing us out. So it's worth a little bit extra money up front to protect those few cryptos. So if you skimp and save and you come up and you're able to get 10 Litecoin, I mean, those Litecoin are going to be worth a whole lot, because you look at Bitcoin. If you had purchased Bitcoin at, say, $400, which was a fortune at the time, and you just held it, it's $3,000 or more than $3,000. It went to $20,000. It's one Bitcoin. Isn't it worth spending, $200 to $300 on, some really secure devices, that covers you for the most part? A lot of scenarios, a lot of disasters. It really checks off a lot of boxes. Isn't it worth doing that? It is to me. I mean, because it's a necessity. We have to do it. If we don't do it, then who's going to take care of it? You put it on a paper wallet. That's the cheapest way to do it, but then it burns up and you lose it. And then you're just another casualty in the whole war. You'll never access it. And those are, you're helping everybody else out, because now you're making, Bitcoin, Litecoin more scarce, because that one doesn't exist, or those don't exist anymore. They're gone. You can't access them. You lose your private key. It's gone. Nobody else is getting it. It's just gone. So I think we need to invest a little bit in security. And, I do like Ellipal. I guess I'm shilling it, but, I paid for it. I bought it, just like I bought this hat, I shill it all the time because I like it. I'm not going to talk about things I don't like. And, nobody's doing me any favors on this stuff. I'm paying for it, and I pay with Litecoin. And, I replace my Litecoin. And that's a whole nother topic of conversation. If you're spending Bitcoin, if you're spending Litecoin, you need to do that, but replace it. It's good to have the merchant adoption. It's good to have it being used, because that's what it's for. So use it everywhere you can. Pay people who will take it, because a lot of times you'll get discounts. There are places that, one place I shop, 20% discount for using cryptos, because it's worth it to them, from a transaction side. There's no chargebacks. There's, no credit card markup fees. I mean, it's so much cheaper, and they get their money. There's no chance that it's going to go away. Once they have it, it's like digital cash. They have it in their hand. The merchant is happy. So it's to their advantage. So they give you a bonus, for doing that. And so use your Litecoin, spend your Litecoin, but replace it right away with, go out and buy more. So if you're spending like 2 Litecoin on something, buying some stuff, go out and buy 2 more. You don't want to be, you want to have that, because it is a store of value. It is like spending gold and silver when you're spending Bitcoin and Litecoin. It's a finite supply. It's better, and that's a whole nother topic. It's a whole lot better, because it's a finite supply. There's only so many of them, and you know how many there are at most, and there's less than that because they've been lost. So we need to really secure these things. We need to take care of these things. It's the new age. It's a new world. It's a new way of doing things, and we're very early to it at this point. So we're finding all this stuff out on our own. We're trailblazers in a lot of ways, trying to find the best way to protect our wealth. The energy that we've put out into the world, we want to secure, that energy in the form of solid money that we can pass along and we can use later. We need to store that energy in something safe. You want to store it in a US dollar. Think of it like a battery. We're putting energy into a battery. Our work, our labor, our energy, our resources, our spirit, our mental capacity. We're using all that stuff, and we want to save it. How are we going to save it? We're going to put it in this battery called the US dollar. Well, that battery leaks. It doesn't hold a charge very long. And when you go back to use it, you realize, wait a minute, this thing's 50% down. What happened? What happened? I stored all this up in this battery, and now it's gone. But that's what the US dollar is. You know, you can put it in a nicer battery, like Bitcoin, and it's going to hold value because it's scarce. So that battery is going to be better for you to save long term, to hold your energy in. It's the best analogy, but that's just how I look at it. You know, you're storing energy is all you're doing. That's what money is. You're storing energy in it, and you're looking for that thing which has the most value. And going forward, Bitcoin and Litecoin are definitely great stores of value. So we need to protect those stores of value. You know, we don't want to leave it sitting on the street to where somebody can come pick it up. We want to make sure we put it in a location, we put it somewhere that's locked up. You know, you think of a safety deposit box, which I wouldn't recommend doing, because once you put it in there, it's the banks, and they can take it anytime they want. But you think of it that way to visualize. You know, you have a phone, and then that phone with a crypto wallet on it, and you put your cryptos on it, and it's password protected. That's almost like what the safety deposit box is. You know, you've got the phone in there. If you can get into that box, you can access the phone. You can access your jewels and money and whatever you put in there. Your phone is that jewel. It is that money with your cryptos. Once you get into that box, then you can take it. You don't want anybody in that box. You know, you need to have a key to get in that box, and you need to have identity to get into the vault that gets you into the box. So you want to have multiple layers of protection, and then you look at these hardware devices, and that's what they are. They're multiple layers of protection, so that it's a little bit harder to get to those cryptos, and it's pretty hard for anybody to access them. And so you don't want them stolen. You want to protect them. And you don't want them to be destroyed, you know, in a fire, you know, or in a natural disaster. So that's why you have, I think a good solution is to go out and just get an Ellipal and get a Billfodl. I mean, that's probably the most affordable solution that I've found at this point. Other than, you know, if you've got a laptop and an old printer that's offline, you can print your own paper wallets. You know, and that's the most effective way and cost-effective way to do it. But it has its disadvantages, which I mentioned, you know. I do like the Ellipal for an all-digital solution. So I've rambled on long enough talking about cold storage. There's other ways to do it. There's other devices, but check it out. I mean, check out Ellipal, 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 and check out the Billfodl. And I know, I think Rob has them on his site, you know, litecoinlotto.site. You can get this hat too. And again, you know, I've always been righted by Rob, and you know what he has there. I like his stuff. Litecoin Lotto is great. You can get in there, put a couple of chances in to win every week, you know, and win some Litecoin. I mean, the products are all great. I mean, this hat is really warm. I never wear hats. I'm not a hat wearer, but I'll tell you what, I mean, it's just warm, and I like it. And you know, with this winter being as cold as it is, it's really nice. It's a good hat. So, you know, check it out. I think you can get a Billfodl on there too. You can get the Ellipal on there too. There's other things that, you know, are on there. All this stuff is good. It's great. And you can pay with Litecoin. It supports the community. So, rambled enough. Hey, I appreciate everybody listening to this. And, you know, if you have any comments, leave them below. And if you want to subscribe and you like listening to me ramble and you want me to make other videos and you have suggestions, just let me know. We need to help each other. And hopefully I've done that today. So, I hope you have a great day. Thanks a lot.